All right, Brian Tyner wanted to show you all what's going on with your boy Hank. Um, and this video is shot on Sunday, and I believe I got it on my calendar. I can't remember if it's Wednesday or Thursday this week. We're planning on meeting up to get Hank ready to come home with you. And I do want to apologize. This video is getting a little late. We're running low on light, so I'll try to be as quick as I can. But I wanted to talk about what we're doing and where Hank is and what he knows and what he does not know, and how you can help keep him going. I do want to emphasize that I feel like Hank is a talented dog. I feel like he's a very good dog, but I do not feel like he is done. He is ready. I think there are some things that he knows he's doing well with, but I think there's also some things that he is very confused about right now, and we haven't totally finished up. So, one of the things that he is good on, should be good on, is the e-collar. Now, you notice he wandered off way down. He's about 75 yards down there, and I'm going to push the button on the e-collar that makes the tone, and that only makes the sound. Okay? And immediately he comes running full speed right here, Hank. Hey, here, 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 heel, sit. Good boy. And comes up here to come sit down. Okay, all done. Good boy. So, the thing that I have been focusing on the last week or so is trying to get him a very solid obedience foundation and a very solid e-collar conditioning. Here is why, what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about this transition from one home to another, and I know it's going to be busy. You guys got a lot going on, and Hank may be in a new place. And I want to emphasize that when dogs are in a new location, very often a male dog, especially an intact male like Hank, and an alpha intact male like Hank, is going to have a tendency to want to explore, to check the place out. That's just what boy dogs do. And right here, he's doing this, and he's just barely off camera. He's right over here. Um, and I want to make sure that you have what you need in order to make you can control him and keep him safe. The worst thing that I would want to see happen is to have a dog that has some training, is a member of your family, and then he get himself into a bad situation simply because he wandered off or didn't come when you called him. So that's my primary focus, is to make sure that Hank stays safe and has a solid foundation to build on, and hopefully maybe later before hunting season I can see him again and we can brush up some of his retrieving skills and get some of that polished up a little bit more. But right now, what I'm really worried about is his obedience. Hey, Hank, here. And what I'm doing is he was off and he's coming here. Here. Come on. Here. Here. Good. Heel. Sit. Now, Hank is going to be a dog who is going to want to explore and check things out. He will focus on me. He will pay attention to me, but he is only going to pay attention and focus on us once he has been able to check the place out. That is who Hank is. That's what it means to be an alpha dog. And so what we're doing is we're using the e-collar as a replacement for this, the old slip lead collar that we've been using, which is just a simple, 5-foot leash that has a loop on the end. All this is remember, it just has this little loop on the end that goes around it so that we can use it to control him. So, Hank, here, and you can see how quickly he responds when I push the button. He gets it. So all we are doing, the way that we teach this, sit, is we use the leash command, like lift up the lead and say sit, and we push the button. What we are trying to do is use Pavlov, classical conditioning. Condition him so that he understands when he feels the electronic stimulus and he feels this, he knows it means he needs to put his butt on the ground. And that's all an e-collar does. An e-collar simply replaces the leash and has a 1 mile range, and it never gets tangled. The way I like to explain it is, if you think about, Hank was 75 yards away over here. If he had a long rope attached to him and I said, Hank, here, and pulled on the long rope, he would come. He would come every time. But with the e-collar, it replaces that rope, right? That's what we're trying to do. Good boy. And right now he's focusing on me. Good boy. Good. So we give him lots of encouragement, right? But if they don't have that e-collar conditioning, very often dogs, especially like Hank, would want to be 75 yards away and you say, Hank, here, and he'd go, I don't know. And he may come, right? But we want to make sure that he understands that I need him to come every time. And so that's what the e-collar conditioning is about. It's not about punishment. It's not about pain. We should never hear the dog yelp or cry or anything like that. That's not what we're trying to do. We're simply trying to use it just like the leash. And that's why it's actually on their neck, as it feels just like a pull on the leash. So that is the whole point of it. So we're going to do a little bit of on-leash obedience right here in front of the camera. Every time I say the word here, I'm going to apply the stimulus. And every time I say sit, I'm going to apply it. And so you'll see how quickly it gets nice and crisp because he responds to that very quickly because it's the same sensation every time. And it's it's momentary. So it's just a flick. It is not a sustained shock. To call it a shock collar is really a bit of a misnomer. You're not really shocking the dog. So we're trying to simply help him understand that we need him to change something. That's all it's trying to do. So, good boy, Hank. Good. Hank, heel, heel, heel. Come on. Hank, here, sit. Good boy. Heel, heel, good. Heel. And he's anticipating the here command. Here, because he's trying to lag behind. Sit. Good boy. Heel. Hank, here. Heel. Sit. Good. Heel. Hank, here. Heel. Sit. Good dog. And important, one of the things that I tell Hank is once he has completed what I've asked of him, I say, Hank, all done. All done. Good boy. Which is, of course, the dog equivalent of as you were. So we let him be a dog. Do what you're going to do. So right now he's just kind of wandering around just off camera, wanting to check the place out, wanting to smell things. Um, there's been some birds over here in this grass, so he's wanting to check it out. But that's my focus for Hank has been about obedience and e-collar conditioning. That's what I want to see him get good at. I feel like he's got a good foundation for that, and that's something we can build on moving forward. So Hank's doing great.